There's a lot of different schools of thought on trigger control, but at the end of it, it's all about pressing the trigger as carefully as you have to for any given shot. For our purposes, trigger control is pressing the trigger straight back to the rear without the sights moving off the target. If the targets are close and easy, we can be almost careless with how you press the trigger. If the targets are further away, you need to be much more careful, more deliberate with the trigger control. No matter who you are, I think you need to learn a lot of different ways of trigger control. You need to learn to go fast on closer, easier stuff. You need to learn to hit long shots every single time. One of them is to pin the trigger back after you break the shot. Gun goes off and you let the trigger out just to the point where it resets. It's commonly called pin and reset. Another technique that's often used is prep and press. In this way, I would prep the trigger as I'm lining up the sights. When the sights get lined up to where I think they're sufficient for that target, when you decide to break the shot, you then press through. So 2 steps, prep and press. Still another method is trigger slapping. Trigger slapping is having your finger come all the way off the trigger every time you fire a shot and not being terribly careful on how you press the trigger back. This is typically done on close range targets. Problems that people are going to have that are trigger control related is they're going to push the gun to the side as they're pressing the trigger. They'll press the gun down as they press the trigger. They'll do any number of things that are not pressing the trigger straight back and just letting the gun go off. Typically, people don't have much of a problem going really fast on close targets. Sometimes it is challenging for people to go fast, and usually that is solved by relaxing their hand a little bit and learning what it feels like to press the trigger really quickly. If it helps you to conceptualize it as pin and reset or prep and press or some other way, then that's great. You need to do what works for you. So no matter which one of those you're doing, the whole point of that is that you need to be as careful as you need to be for any given shot. So if the target's really close range, you don't need to be that careful. If the target's further away, you need to be extremely gentle almost with how you press the trigger. I would say, to cut right down to it, yeah, strictly adhering to any one of those techniques doesn't make any sense. If you think about it, as soon as the gun goes off, it doesn't matter what you do at that point. As soon as the gun's gone off, it's cycling, it doesn't matter. You can let your finger all the way off, you can keep your finger on, you can let the trigger out just to the point of resetting. You could not do that. It doesn't make any difference. For me, I don't need to worry about any of those different schools of thought. I just worry about how carefully I press the trigger for any given shot. What matters is that you hit long stuff and you go fast on close stuff. That's all that really matters.